All right, let's talk about ProLine's multi-location functionality. If you are a company that has more than one location, you can use ProLine's multi-location functionality to stay more organized and also make sure to route Google reviews to the correct Google My Business, depending on where a project is located. And you can even do some advanced stuff with like maintaining different price lists for different locations and stuff like that as well. So let's take a look at the different aspects of this multi-location functionality, and also just FYI, it's you can use this regardless of how distinct your locations are. So some companies may have different locations in different cities or even different states, and you can use ProLine's multi-location for that. But also, if you have multiple Google My Business locations within a single city area, you can use the multi-location for that as well. And so even if you're not technically operating with like different teams in different locations, you can still utilize this and get benefits from it. So let's go through the different features. One of the biggest features right off the bat is just how ProLine auto routes projects into the appropriate location based on the address. So we have a project here. Our default location for this account is Atlanta, so it's just going to default to Atlanta for this project. But as soon as I go down here, and I'm going to select a address that I know is in the Athens area. So we're going to do that. We're going to select this. And so we've selected our address here in the Athens area, and we're going to see that ProLine automatically adjusts the location. It's not even the same city, so it's not based on the city name. It's actually based on the latitude and longitude of that address. So ProLine is going to route based on how close. It's just going to route to the closest location for whatever address is entered. This works both when you are entering projects in manually into ProLine, as well as with all of ProLine's integrations for speed to lead and for lead input. So regardless of where a project comes from, ProLine's going to automatically assign that location accordingly. And so with that being the case, you can now, here on the projects page, you can filter by different locations, and you can see exactly what's going on in each. And if you're someone that works primarily in one location, you can actually set this for your account. Each member of your team can, and say, by default, I want to see Athens projects and not anything else. So you have that capability there. Now, on the reporting dashboard, for most of these reports, you can filter by location. So you have that ability here to filter data, and you can see how are we performing at each location. And so that's super helpful. Then we're going to come back into the company settings here for things like quotes. You can run quotes in your price list a few different ways. You can just have everything run on the company defaults. And if you just have it run on company defaults, that means for all locations, they're going to use the same price list, the same quote templates. However, you can select individual locations and turn on unique quote templates and pricing. And then you can actually manage a different set of pricing and quote templates for each location if you need to keep those separate. So if you're dealing with locations that are in entirely different areas of the country, this is a great way to keep that pricing separate and manage that separately so that you can keep everything accurate to that location. You might even also, with the quote templates, you have the ability to offer different products in each location, so you're not tied to what your original location, whatever products are primarily used in your main location. You can do the same thing here with orders. And the main thing here is you're probably going to have different subcontractors, a different supplier rep for each of your locations. And so ProLine allows you to maintain different order templates for your different locations. That way you can have those templates automatically connected and pre-filled out to the right person depending on the location. So It's just quotes and orders. Invoices don't require that. But though for quotes and orders, we support that that kind of, if you need it, the ability to have them be unique for your individual locations. And then as far as managing locations, we have some other kind of features I'll go over here. So for each location here, you have a review landing page that's specifically for that location. And so for each location, you can fill in a different URL of where you want to funnel reviews to. And so this is what you're gonna plug in for funneling reviews to different Google My Business locations. So when ProLine is requesting reviews using the review request campaigns, it's going to send a different review landing page, which will funnel to a different review request URL, so that those Google reviews are being funneled to the right Google My Business. Now, we also have service taxes and vendor taxes, which are unique to location. And so service taxes are going to be a tax on the total of the job. So this is a tax that you're charging and you're charging your customer and collecting from your customer. Not a lot of areas of the U.S. or Canada require this, but it does come up. And so but you can control that on a per location basis. So maybe one of your locations does require that, one doesn't. Totally fine. ProLine's going to handle that perfectly. Then you have vendor taxes. So for vendor taxes, this is the sales tax that your supplier is charging to you. And so ProLine handles that very eloquently as well, based on location. So that way, depending on where you are, that sales tax is likely to be different depending on the county, depending on the state, or the city. So having this ability to customize this on a per location basis allows you to set the right number for projects that are based in that location. And that gets all that for the vendor taxes, that gets baked into the pricing. So that way, when you are managing pricing in ProLine, you can put in the exact price that you're getting from your supplier on the price list, and then ProLine's going to add the vendor tax, so that way the end cost matches up with the invoice that you're going to receive from your supplier. But you don't have to do any of that math here in your price list. You can just put directly into your price list what you have on the price sheet from your supplier, and you're good to go. And so that is it for locations. So lots of little kind of ease of use things, and like I said, it's ProLine's very flexible. You can use this for just multiple Google My Businesses in one location, in one city, or it has all of this additional power around the quotes and the orders, where if you are working multiple locations in different cities or even different states, we support all of that as well. And so that's all quite useful if you do need that functionality. And just to kind of to hit this at the end here, this is included in the cost of ProLine. We don't charge anything extra for locations. There's no added fees. So you're welcome to, and we encourage you to use these locations as much as you need to. So you don't have to worry about it. Is it worth it to pay extra for this extra Google My Business that I have? We've just taken that off the table. It's included in the price of ProLine. So we encourage you to add as many locations as you need. It really decreases complexity, especially here at the end when we're looking at the review request campaign. Being able to have the same review request campaign for all your locations, and then ProLine just routing it to the right Google My Business, is a huge simplification over trying to maintain different campaigns for each location, which just becomes a nightmare. So that is multi-location in ProLine. If you are a multi-location company, you're in great hands using ProLine.